Today I'm going to be reviewing the Colourpop and Muppets holiday collection. I know you guys voted in my community tab for me to review the Pat McGrath Celestial Nirvana palette first, but you know, I am honestly still trying to figure out what type of look I want to do for that video. I have it right here, don't worry, we are going to get to this, but I just want to make sure that I'm extra cute for this review, you know? Like a 9 or 10 out of 10 on the cuteness scale. I feel more like a 7 overall today. I'm not tired or anything, I just feel like it's been a blah week. You know how it goes. I figured let's just take a peek at the Colourpop and Muppets collaboration first. Less pressure, good old family fun. We will breeze right through it and it'll be fun, I promise. It'll be a good time, okay? So grab your drink and your snack. First, let's dive right into the application of this pink and green moment that you see on me right now. Okay, so I am taking some of my party proof primer. I like to just squeeze it out. I can't be bothered with this applicator thing. Pretty much going to fill my entire lid up with color for this look, so apply that liberally, and then don't forget to bring it down to the bottom as well. Okay, starting off with Haute Holidays, which is just this classic cool toned Pepto-Bismol matte pink. I'm swooping that all over the inner half of my eyelid and bringing it up pretty high, like almost touching my eyebrow pretty much. Then for the outer half of the eye, I'm going in with this Frazzled shade, which is like a yellow lime green color, and then we're going to deepen that up with Being Green. This one is one of those sequin matte shades. It's pretty much a completely matte shadow, just with a little bit of sparkles. And then we're going to add some of that true lime green to deepen it up. And then don't forget to add that gradation down to the outer 1/3 of my lower lash line as well. So obviously this is not a super precise look or anything, but the one thing I did want to make sure was that the line here where the green and pink meet, I wanted to make sure that it was kind of like a diagonal line angling outward. I feel like that just flows better with the natural shape of my eyes as opposed to a straight down the center line. Then I'm taking just the tiniest smidge of Be Cool, which is like this deeper salmon pink, again a sequin matte shade. Tap this off a little bit because I really just want a teensy bit to darken this area here. Since my eyes are like pretty much completely flat, this helps to add the illusion of, I don't know, like 3D-ness. Then I'm adding this festive shade down here to the outer V. It doesn't have a colored base. Like you see when I spread that out, it's basically just glitter. It reminds me of like straight up that tinsel material. You know those cheap like party store Christmas decorations? Not the wreaths, like the tassel things. I think they could have just as well named this shade tinsel. And it is a little bit messy if you're not careful. Like you see there's fallout down here, but that's no big deal. Okay, at this point I'm just drawing in my artificial tear bag line with my Can Make Slim Eye Rouge Liner. Then I'm adding Celebrate Moi in the inner corner as well as on the tear bag area. In the pan, you can really see that pale pink color show through. It looks really similar to the Miss Piggy Super Shock shadow, but once you swatch it out, this one is definitely on like the icier side. It's a pressed glitter, while the Miss Piggy Super Shock is much truer to that cool toned pale pink color. Okay, so lashes, eyeliner, and mascara are on. I used an old Colourpop and Hello Kitty collaboration blush. This one is called Island Shine. It matches the pink tone of the eyeshadow perfectly. On my lips, I'm wearing one of the glowing lips from the Muppet collection. This one is in shade Kissy Kissy. So this basically turned out to be a very, very neon pink look with a splash of green. It's like a watermelon Sour Patch candy. Even my nails match. I had a good experience overall creating this look. What do you think? So let me just briefly run through my final thoughts on each item or each category of items. I did go ahead and purchase the entire collection. The main attraction is obviously the eyeshadow or pressed powder palette called Holidays, Holidays, Holidays. 16 shades in total. You get a pretty equal mix of mattes, metallics, pressed glitters, sequin shades. They're all very par for the course with the normal Colourpop formula. Pigmented, blendable, the usual fallout, but nothing unmanageable. I will say I just found some of the metallic shades to be a tad inconsistent. Like these are all powder formulations, right? With a few pressed glitter pans here and there, but there's no Super Shock or cream formulation anywhere in this palette. However, I found that when I was swatching some of the metallic shades, some of them did feel quite moister or like more emollient than usual. Like the powder would kind of just bunch up when I swiped across with my finger, and I don't know, the whole top layer would just crumble really easily overall. I don't know if it's because of the international shipping, like maybe the bumpy transit loosened up some of the ingredients, or there were changes in temperature or something. I did place quite a large order with Colourpop on Black Friday, of which this collection was part of that order, and I did notice that it took about a week longer than usual for everything to arrive as compared with my previous Colourpop orders. Take into account that the weather right now in Tokyo is kind of going back and forth between warm and cold. I can see how the transit maybe could have influenced the formula a little bit, or maybe this is just how Colourpop metallics always have been and I just never noticed before. This metallic periwinkle shade here, Stunt Santa, was a little harder pressed than all of the other metallics. Like it took more effort to get this to swatch properly on my arm. Could just be the one in my palette. Small inconsistencies like these are always to be expected with Colourpop, so you decide for yourself if that is a deal breaker or not. I really like the palette overall. I think it's cute, it's good quality packaging, the design is so wholesome and perfect for the holidays. I mean, you really can't go wrong with something as iconic as the Muppets. Pretty much all of the Colourpop like IP character collaboration eyeshadow palettes are top-notch across the board. The non-eyeshadow items are a different story, but we'll get to that in a second. That being said though, unless you're like 100% in love with this color story or you're just a total Muppets fanatic, I would say that you can honestly skip out on this one. You're not really missing anything because there's nothing super special in here. You know, every single shade is easily dupable. I would say the most unique shade and probably my favorite shade out of the entire palette is this one down here. It's kind of unique, not like totally unheard of, but I just feel like you don't really see a pure glitter pan in this particular shade of forest green that often. Matte, yes, metallic maybe, but not like a pure glitter with a clear base. And like I said, it's the kind of glitter that really gives off that tinsel decoration material vibe, or think the needles of a pine tree in an eyeshadow form. It just screams Christmas to me, so this one definitely jumps out to me the most. Then we have 4 Super Shock shadows, each one themed after an iconic Muppets character. The green one is Kermit the Frog, the pink one is Miss Piggy, and I actually don't know anyone else aside from those two. Like, there's this bear looking character, and then this red guy who I thought was Elmo at first, but then I realized that I actually had to look this up before filming this video because I totally forgot. Sesame Street is part of the whole larger Muppets franchise, right? But they're a separate group, I think, from the original Muppets, which would include Kermit and Miss Piggy and this red guy apparently. But if you really look closely though, he kind of looks like the perfect cross between Elmo and Oscar the Grouch. Like, he has the same expression as Oscar the Grouch, except Oscar is green and then Elmo is red, but this guy's not Elmo. So who is this guy? Can somebody, like, can you guys help me out here? What were we talking about? Super Shock shadows. Again, these are very standard and consistent with Colourpop's usual Super Shock formula. Since this is a brand new collection, of course you can tell that these are all brand new and freshly pressed, which means that they are all smooth, buttery, glided on my arm with no problem. Beautiful, shiny, glistening, shimmery finish.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular.
Just keep in mind, if you're not familiar with Colourpop, this is unfortunately one of those formulas that tends to dry out pretty quickly. So again, unless you know for sure that there's like a particular shade out of these that you're just going to reach for over and over again, like it's your go-to, is it really worth it to buy it, use it twice, forget about it, come back after a couple months and try to use it again, but then by that point it's not going to hit the same as it did when it was freshly opened? Probably not worth it, but again, you decide for yourself. I did buy a few multiples of this Miss Piggy shade right here called Holiday Hostess to give out just as Christmas presents. I'm going to a Christmas dance event on Sunday, so I'll be bringing my little trinkets to pass out to people while I'm there. But yeah, this pink is a very safe, cute color, and the packaging is cute. It's very Christmassy, so why not? I actually do really like this Holiday Hostess shade. I like all the pinks in this collection because they're all very cool toned, and this one in particular is very blue based. I love a blue based pink, you guys know this. I also bought a few extra jars of the Miss Piggy glitter gel called It's Moi for the same reason. The glitters in here are a bit larger than I'm typically used to with like J Beauty and K Beauty brands, but they are very reflective and pretty. They lay flat against the skin, so it doesn't look cheap or anything, at least. The only thing I'm kind of disappointed in is the smell. It's like this funky mix between fresh skincare and like straight up petroleum jelly. I am not bothered by it personally, and I don't think most people would mind. However, again, the fact that I bought a couple of these as Christmas gifts for my friends here in Japan, I just feel like, you know, Japanese and Korean cosmetics set such a high standard across the board. Like, if a product claims to be scentless here, then you know for a fact that there is going to be no trace of a smell whatsoever. So it's just kind of annoying that I'm gonna have to give something to people that smells weird. Like, this would never happen with a Japanese makeup brand. I pride myself on being a really good gift giver, so it bothers me, you know, that this gift is not gonna be perfect. It's gonna smell funky. Even though it's not my fault, it's Colourpop's fault. They need to get their stuff together, but whatever. I mean, it's still cute, right? Last but not least, there are 4 glowing lips in this collection. I have on the shade Kissy Kissy right now. I wanted to try out this formula specifically because I already own 2 of the Colourpop blotted lips. Same packaging. The blotted lip is more of a soft matte blurry vibe, whereas this one, the glowing lip, is supposed to be the shinier version. I'm not really a fan of the glowing lip, to be honest. I mean, it looks cute for like a YouTube or Instagram moment, but I would never wear this out in public. The formula is a little too thick for my taste. Like, when I press my lips together, it kind of sticks like that. And then if you zoom in too, see how it emphasizes the wrinkles on my lips? Not into that. Yeah, the texture is just not the prettiest. It's kind of giving me crayon vibes. The one thing I will say that it has going for it is the pigmentation. This will block out your natural lip color completely, so you don't have to mess around with concealer underneath or anything like that. And then I guess also like the stickiness and the clinginess does ensure that your lipstick is not going to budge, especially if you're wearing a mask on top. But I still don't really think that's worth it for the lack of comfortability. It's just, I can feel it on my lips, you know, like it feels too heavy. I really don't like that, and I just feel like there's much better options here in Japan. So yeah, I would say the blotted lip is definitely the superior formula. It's much more lightweight and it gives a really nice blurred effect. Glowing lip, you can pass on these, and I'm also going to pass on these if they come out with more in the future. Also, the packaging is super cheap. The plastic is already breaking on 2 of these. Like, it's super weird. It's like white about to crack, and then this one already has a crack. Like, what the hell? I don't think I dropped these. Like, I pretty much unboxed them today to take my swatch videos, and then yeah, I don't think I handled these that roughly between this afternoon and tonight, so I don't know why the packaging is already breaking on me. Same thing goes for my blotted lips, actually. See, there's a crack again. Yeah, this time around I purchased the whole collection because, you know, the Super Shocks were cute enough, and I did really want to try this glowing lip formula. But I think in the future I'm gonna try my best, like whenever Colourpop does an IP collaboration that I'm interested in, I'm going to try to only get the eyeshadow palette if possible, because it seems like every time they do these collections, 90% of the effort in terms of like the high quality packaging and design and concept goes into the eyeshadow palette, and then 10% goes into like the rest of the offerings, which is usually at best mediocre, at worst it breaks upon the slightest touch. I found this to be true with the Harry Potter collection as well. Like, you see what a beautiful work of art the eyeshadow palette is, but then the rest of the collection is just like second, third rate.
So for your education, I reiterate, you're only second rate.
Plastic trash, pretty much. And part of it wasn't even Colourpop technically, it was like their sister brands of Soul Body and Fourth Rate Beauty, which are typically trash in my experience. Like this, the Slytherin lip balm, which I'm keeping because it's Slytherin. But look at how cheap this is for children, right? It's so weird because like they managed to keep the cardboard packaging consistent and high quality throughout, but then the actual products inside, everything comes a very far second to the eyeshadow palette. So that's my thoughts on the Colourpop and Muppets Holiday Collection 2022. I was going to ramble a little bit about the Muppets, but I'm honestly losing my voice, so I might do that in another video. Who knows, I might do another try-on video with just the Super Shock shadows. As far as the overall thoughts, I think we can leave it here. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!